All right, here we go for mat Pilates. This is Holly Thompson, Pilates teacher, fascial stretch therapist, personal trainer, sea health practitioner, teaching mat Pilates for the J on Sunday, 9:30 a.m. So it's about a minute before class start time. And the microphone is far away from my face right now, so let's see if I can get a little closer, since we're going to be on the floor. Okay, I'll wait a couple minutes. This is a live class. We're also recording it. And let's see if we get any live students today. We have been pretty regularly for every class so far. So logged in a little early just to see if we got anybody that wanted to start getting settled in a little bit before 9:30. So always a good thing to do. I think at home, mat Pilates is a great workout choice. Takes such small footprint in your house. All you need is a Pilates mat, thick mat. I had actually double layer them. I have two thick ones just because the extra support is kind of nice, especially when you're kind of rolling on the mat or kind of moving around on the floor. So minimal equipment, minimal space. So the J has been great in offering the virtual classes through the stay-at-home order. And I think this is going to be coming to a close as they're open, going back to doing in-person classes. So we've got 2 more Sunday virtual classes. So might not have anybody today considering this class is being discontinued after next week. So I think this is being recorded. It is. So we're going to go on to the pre-recorded classes. So I'm going to go ahead and teach for you guys that are going to be watching this at home during the week. So this is an all levels Pilates mat class. So it's kind of a general overview of classic Pilates work and a kind of a mix of levels. So if we get into something that doesn't quite feel right, just please be smart with your own body and modify it, okay? So we're gonna start doing some pre-Pilates, which is the warm-up. We're gonna go into the Pilates workout, and then we'll do some pre-Pilates again to kind of stretch and cool down at the end. This class is gonna be about 45 minutes. So we'll be done in about 45 minutes. All right, so let's get started. So you're gonna lay down on your mat. I'm gonna adjust the camera so you can see me a little bit better, okay? You're gonna lay down on your mat. You're gonna have the feet about hip distance apart all the way down on the mat, arms down by your side. First thing I'm gonna do is warm up the body by rock and roll of the pelvis. So what that means is you're gonna tip the tailbone towards the mat, creating a slight arch in the low back, lower than neutral. And then you're gonna tilt the pelvis back to reach the tailbone towards the ceiling. So we're not lifting the pelvis off the floor yet. This is a really gentle move. Just kind of rock and roll the pelvis forward and back, also called tilting the pelvis forward and back being the floor. And just a couple more of these rock and rolls. All right, now coming to a neutral pelvis, now we're going to tilt the pelvis back to the mat, tailbone goes towards the ceiling, and we're gonna roll up to about the middle of your back. So it's just below the shoulder blades. We're gonna breathe in, we're gonna exhale and roll down. Okay, it's very gentle. And you wanna start thinking about the vertebrae in your spine. So the rolling up, you wanna consider that you're going 1 vertebra at a time. And the same thing with the rolling down. It's a 1 vertebra at a time as you just kind of visualize planting 1 vertebra, then the next, go across the sacrum, and then we'll do 2 more of these. This is called a coccyx curl. Okay, now we're gonna roll back to a neutral pelvis. Walk the feet out just a little bit wider, turn the feet out so you're pointing out about a 45-degree angle with the feet. We're gonna lift the pelvis up into a bridge and then lower your pelvis down. Arms are down, working, pressing back to the mat, and we're gonna lift and lower, okay? So you wanna tune in if you're feeling some stretching, like through the front of the hips. That's part of the goals of this. We're also starting to warm up the back muscles and glutes and hamstrings as we lift into the bridge. Make sure your feet are staying all the way on the mat. I know a lot of people tend to, and I did this, I'm sure when I started probably, I'm sure I did it all, rocking the toes up off the mat. So you just want to think about keeping the big toes all the way down, balls of the feet all the way down. And we're going to do one more of these little bridges here. Lifting up. Right? And then lowering back down to the mat. Okay? So the next thing we're going to do to warm up is we're going to roll over onto the side and you're going to lay down on your arm. So my palm is facing the ceiling and you're going to point the toes, allow your feet to come about 3 to 6 inches forward of your hips. The upper body is also curved slightly forward. This is called a banana. So we're making a banana shape and we're going to lift and lower the legs. Try not to let your hips wobble. And you may need to reduce the range of motion on the lift in order to gain that pelvic stability. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more of these. Banana, also a double leg lift. You can think about it as that. And then after this one, we're gonna roll onto our stomach. Okay, so before we go to the other side for the banana, we're gonna do an exercise called thigh lift. So from laying on your stomach, you're gonna stack your hands underneath your forehead and your legs are gonna be straight about hip width apart. And again, this is called thigh lift. We're gonna alternate legs with the thigh lift. So starting with your right leg, stretch out through the leg like you're trying to reach the leg to the wall behind you, right? So we're trying to stretch it out that way. And then lift up, right? Keep the leg nice and straight and slowly bring it down. As we go to the left leg, consider feeling that stretching again through the hip flexors, the front of the pelvis, right? Also starting to warm up a little more. Again, the glutes, the hamstring, the back muscles. And reach and lift. I love this one, especially like I said, for stretching the hips, kind of waking up the back muscles before the rest of the workout. Because we know that Pilates is a great exercise choice for enhancing more of a neutral posture, coming out of that rounded back or the forward shoulders that you see a lot of people getting. Even a lot of teenagers now, you may see getting some of those postures based on all of the electronic usage, right? So Pilates is a great choice for sort of unwinding the posture, stretching and strengthening to get back to a neutral posture. All right, lowering that leg down. Now we're gonna do the other side for banana, okay? I'm gonna change my head to this side so you can still see me. So for banana, we're pointing the toes, legs are stacked a little bit in front of the hips, and we're laying down on our arm, right? The other hand goes in front of the chest. And check in with your breathing. Make sure you're breathing nice, deep, full breaths. Keep the tummy muscles tight. Pulled in about a skin deep contraction. Lowering down. Awesome. Now go ahead and roll onto your back. I'm going to change sides because the microphone is over here so you can hear me a little better. All right, awesome. All right, I'm going to do one more of the pre-Pilates exercises to prepare for the Pilates workout. So pre-Pilates is like a warm-up for the actual workout. So one more of those exercises, this is called puppet arms. So your arms are gonna be straight, reaching up to the ceiling, and we're gonna alternate sides. So I'm gonna start with my right side, and as I wrap the shoulder blade around the body, it lifts off the floor and my arm just got longer, right? Now I'm gonna drop the shoulder blade back down and then go to the other side. It's a rounding of the shoulder blade and it drops back down. So as we alternate sides, your focus is on the shoulder blade. Round it, reach, and drop. And what you're seeing, right, is you see the fingertips get closer to the ceiling. And you can see why it's called puppet arms. So you imagine you have little strings tied to your fingertips and that someone up behind the ceiling is pulling. Okay, last time on the left. And now lower the arms down by your side. All right, great. So now we're gonna get into the Pilates workout. Starts with the 100, right? It's very classical, so that's what we're gonna do. So the 100 is a pumping of the arms with the tempo that your teacher creates. So I'll be creating a tempo for you. So you pump the arms with that tempo. Your breathing is gonna be a 5-count inhale and a 5-count exhale, 10 full breaths while we're doing the exercise. So let's warm up with doing 20, and then I'm going to focus on creating a tempo while you guys do it at home, okay? So to get into the 100, we're gonna bend the knees to a chair position, otherwise known as tabletop. The arms are straight up. You're gonna nod the chin, lift your head, look at the navel, start pumping the arms, okay? It is acceptable to keep the head down. If you have any neck injuries, please do that. Take the legs straight up to the ceiling. And then while we're pumping, start to lower the legs to a point where you can get them as low as possible, keeping your lower spine down. Okay, for me, it's there with my head down. When my head is lifted, I can go a little bit further. Okay, and we're gonna keep pumping. All right, so that's the form. So let's practice together 2 full breaths, 5 second in, 5 second out for a 20 count. Then I'm gonna come up and I've got a little meter to keep a tempo for you, okay? So we're gonna go through the prep, tabletop, legs, arms up, nod your chin, either bring your head up or keep it down, start pumping, straighten the legs, lower your legs to that point that you can go before the back lifts. And I'm gonna say ready and go for the breathing. Okay, ready and go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, bring it in and rock it out. All right, so that's exactly what we're gonna do, but I've got this handy dandy little metronome. So what this does is it keeps a nice meter that's really clean for you to do your breathing and pumping to. So that'd be kind of fun to use. You can get these on the phone or whatever, download it. So I'm gonna go and talk you guys through it. So start on your back, legs come to tabletop position, arms up to the ceiling. Okay, nod your chin, take the arms down, either bring your head up or keep it down, straighten the legs up, start to lower the legs. Are you still pumping? Keep pumping the arms. And for the breathing, 5 in, 5 out, ready and go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 32, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 42, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 50, exhale, 60, exhale, 70, exhale, 80, exhale, 90, exhale, last breath in, exhale, and relax. All right, great. So we did the full 100, did a great warm up into it. As you can tell when you're doing it, awesome ab toning exercise. Also kind of sets your breathing for the workout, okay? So now we're gonna do something called a half roll down. We're not gonna do a full version unless you're advanced and you can do that at home. So for the half roll down, you're going to sit so that you have room behind you, so about in the middle of the mat. The legs are going to be straight, toes are pointed. Sitting up straight on the sitting bones, arms forward. Pull the navel in, and you're going to roll halfway back towards the mat. Don't lose control. So only roll back as far as you still have strength. And then when you roll up, you're going to sit up tall again. We're just going to keep the toes pointed, legs together. Pull the navel in, roll halfway down. Now see if you can go about an inch further than we did before, and then come back up. Okay, now let's do that again. We're going to hold when we get to our spot where we have that control. We're going to lower and lift just an inch, just beyond that place where we have the most strength, right? 4, 5, we're going to do 3 more for 8. And come all the way up and just do a little stretch over your legs. I'm going to stretch out the hamstrings a little bit. Okay, you guys okay? That was a good one, right? So now we're going to do that again. So we're going to go back to that point of strength. We're going to hold, okay? So coming back to that point of strength, we're going to hold. This time we're going to go up an inch and back an inch. We're doing 8. Keep the abs scooped. Keep the navel pulled in. We're rounding through the back to create a C shape. Okay, 2 more. Good. When you come up, go ahead and round over the legs. Stretch out your hamstrings a little bit. Okay. All right, great. Now we're going to roll back down to the mat. So you may need to scooch forward so that you have room, so that you land on the mat. Now we're going to do something called a single leg circle. This is actually a great back strengthener. So we're going to keep the arms down, pressing back to the mat. Take the foot on your left leg and you're going to flex it. So the heel and the back of the leg are pressing down into the mat. Take the right leg up and point the toe. And then we're going to make a circle. So we're going to start by going across the midline of the body, out to the side, and pause. Okay, change direction of the circle. We're doing 4 in each direction. Okay, hold the leg up, flex the foot, reach to the heel. So you might feel some stretching through the back of the calf or the back of the hamstring. Also requires more abdominals when we have control and we're moving like that, right? Okay, so take the left leg up, point it. The abdominal muscles, the abs, have to deal with the weight of the leg, right? So when we're lifting and lowering it like this, the abs are firing so that you don't roll off the mat, but you're also working a lot of triceps and a lot of the back muscles, right? Okay, that was 4. So change direction. My toe is pointed. I think it's being cut off on the camera, but you're keeping the toe in a point the whole time on the moving leg. Okay, 1 more. Good. Now flex the foot, reach to the heel, feel that stretching and down. All right, great job on those. Now what we're going to do next is part of the ab series, right? It's all working our abs. But we're getting into the core of the abdominal workout and the Pilates mat work. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the right leg in towards your chest a little further than a tabletop and just put your hands around the lower leg. Okay, head down if you've had any neck injuries. If not, lift your head. Now you're going to point the toe on both feet. And from here, I want you guys to pump the leg that you're holding, right? So it's 2 pumps, okay? And then switch legs. We're going to slide the foot out, bring the left leg in a little further than tabletop, pump, pump, slide it out. Okay, if your head is down, it looks like this. Pump, pump, and pump, pump. Okay, let's keep doing that. Pump, pump, and pump, pump. Okay, now we're going to go back to the right leg in. This time, we're going to take the left leg up off the mat. So reach it up to about a 45-degree angle until you feel nice and supported through the low back. Okay, and then pump, pump. Now when you extend the right leg, keep it up. Pump, pump. Pump, pump. Right? Pump, pump. Pump, pump. This is called a single leg stretch. Okay, one more on each side. Okay, bring the knees in towards your chest a little bit. Just kind of hug and rock side to side. Kind of loosen up your back after that, right? Okay, hopefully you guys were following along with that. Now the next one we're gonna do is called a double leg stretch. So we start with both legs in, a little further than tabletop, hand on either lower leg. Same thing with the head lift if you have no injuries. Now all we're gonna do is stretch the legs out and bring them in. Okay, let's do that 2 more times. Okay, now we're gonna add the arms with that move. So from here, when you stretch the legs out, bring the arms up overhead. Now bring the arms behind you, circle, and bring the knees back in. Up overhead, behind, circle. Hopefully you don't have stuff behind you. I always have stuff around. You got long arms. Sometimes it's a cat, sometimes it's a kettlebell. Up, behind and around. Okay, 2 more. Okay, and then rock side to side. Right, so you can feel that in the abs, right? Also a great stretch for the legs and hips. Okay, awesome. All right, so next we're gonna roll over onto your side. Okay, and we're gonna do a side kick. So we've got a couple of options with the arms. This is considered the intermediate student arm position. So if you're an intermediate student, you're doing this arm position. If you are a beginner student, or maybe you are an advanced student, but your shoulder's bothering you today, right? It's Father's Day, you were hanging out doing some yard work or whatever. Maybe your shoulder's tender. You could lay down like this with the palm up. Okay, so pick between one of those 2 arm positions. We're gonna have the legs slightly in front of the hips. Start with the feet flexed. Okay, the other hand's in front of your belly for support. Lift the top leg up and we're reaching through the heels. So our feet are flexed. We're gonna swing, swing, so it has a pulse. The knee stays straight. So swing, swing the leg in front, point the toe, and swing, swing the leg in back. When the leg comes in front, the belly kind of pulls in, the back rounds a little bit. When it goes behind, you lift the ribs slightly forward, right? And, right, so it's got this little kind of a pulse motion. This is a great stretch for the hamstrings and then through the hip flexors. You should feel the abdominals engaging, especially the waistline muscles. Okay, and then go ahead and stack the legs together. Okay, so we're gonna do one more side leg on this side, facing this way. So now the toe is gonna be pointed. You're gonna externally rotate the thigh, bend the knee, sliding the foot in towards your tailbone. Straighten the leg up to the ceiling. I'm gonna lower my leg so you can see it. Flex your foot. Now internally rotate your thigh and lower. Now your leg does not have to go vertical to the ceiling, but it goes up, okay? So point the toe, turn out, lift the leg up. I'm gonna stop here because you can't see it on the camera. Flex the foot, internally rotate and lower. Wait, I just did a different exercise, sorry. Let me back that up. All right, back it up. All right, watch the video for a second. We're bending the knee in, straighten the leg up, flex the foot, internally rotate, right? That's the one we're doing. I think I did a different one. Maybe I did the same one. This is what we're doing. So point, turn out, in, up, and then internally rotate to lower. All right, let's keep going. Okay, we're doing 4, and so this is 4. Now we're gonna reverse that one. So we keep the foot flexed, we internally rotate, lift, point the toe, turn out, bend the knee, and slide the foot out. Okay, flex, internally rotate, lift. Point the toe, externally rotate as you bend the knee, and slide out. Okay, let's do one more. I know that's 5, but I'm counting the first one as the demo. Okay, so hopefully you did 4 in each direction. Okay, if you did 5, that's fine. Now, we're gonna do this on the other side. So you can roll over. I'm gonna put my head on this side so you guys can see. All right, so the first one we did, remember, set up your arm position, whether it's down or laying down here. And we're gonna do side kick, okay? So feet are flexed, lift the leg up, swing, swing in front, kind of rounding the back a little, swing, swing and back, lifting the ribs coming forward. I've got the door open right now with the plants outside and the screen door. My cats are outside watching the sunshine, probably the birds and the bees. We get a lot of birds and bees in those plants. I don't know if you can hear the birds, but they're chirping. Okay, 2 more of this one. All right, awesome. So that's our side kick. Now we're going to go to the other one, which has a name. It's called Developpe Enveloppe. It is a ballet term, and so it got that nickname from some of Joe Pilates' apprentices, surely, as he had many ballet dancer apprentices. Now we're going to turn the leg out. We're going to bend the knee, sliding the foot in, extend the leg, flex the foot, internally rotate the thigh, right? Point, turn out, bend in, straighten, flex, turn in and down. 3, we're gonna do 1 more. All right, now we're gonna reverse it. So we internally rotate, lift, point, turn out, bend the knee, and slide the foot out. Okay, 1 more. All right, excellent. Okay, so hopefully those felt great. Those do a lot of stretching through the legs, through the knees, working the feet and ankles, outer hips, right? And also that waistline area. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come onto all 4s. Okay, all right. So we're gonna do an exercise called bird dog. So for this, it's not a classical Pilates exercise, although we include it a lot because of the back strengthening components. So from here, we're gonna move the opposite knee and opposite hand out from underneath us. Now, move carefully, trying not to let your body rotate. And you wanna keep your hips and shoulders squared to the mat. Lower that side down. And now slide and reach, right? And slowly bring it down, right? And other side. And again, working the glutes a little bit here as well as the back muscles. Also stretching the hip flexors, right? Okay, we're gonna do 1 more on each side. Keep the navel pulled to spine. So again, that skin deep contraction of the abdominal muscles. And then 1 more. All right, excellent. Now, go ahead and lower down right to your stomach. And we're gonna do an exercise called Swan. So you're going to turn the legs out. You can do either a Pilates V, which is your heels together, or if you ever get like low back tension or that ever bothers you, I recommend taking the legs a little bit apart. I'm gonna do mine a little bit apart. You're gonna take the hands just outside the shoulders, pinkies towards the edge of the mat, elbows are down. Your nose is gonna be about 1 inch from the mat. And the first thing you do is you tighten the abs. So you pull the navel to spine a little bit. Imagine you have like a marble under your nose. You're gonna roll the marble away and you lift your chest. Your elbows may lift depending on your flexibility. Okay, it's not required, but you don't want to push up through the hands a lot. So you try to make the lift a very as effortless as possible, I'll say, but just without making it feel like a push-up. So try to create the lift without pushing into the hands. A little bit of a game, right? Keep the abs tight because we are strengthening there. Okay. Let's do 3 more of those. I'm going to bring my heels together for the last 2. Very traditional, the Pilates V position. Whew. And then 1 more. Okay, all right, awesome. Now we're going to turn over to one cheek. So obviously you'll want to see the camera. So the legs are going to be together, your toes are pointed. This is called a double leg kick. You're going to interlace your fingers and put your hands on your back. Now, if that is not comfortable for you, that's okay. You don't have to do it that way. If that's uncomfortable, bring your arms down by your side, okay? So for this version, we're going to be kicking the legs 3 times to your butt, and then we're going to arch and change sides. Okay, so watch me for the first one. I'm going to kick 3 times. It's kick, kick, kick. Feet go down, arch, stretch the shoulders, and then turn your cheek to the opposite side. Okay, so let's do that together. So start with the kicking. It's 3 kicks. Feet go down, arch. So lift the chest, stretch the shoulders, turn to the opposite cheek. Ugh. Okay, keep going. Kick, kick, kick. Okay, keep going 2 more. I'm going to talk a little bit while you guys are doing it. So you want to make sure that your head isn't, you're not throwing it back. So you want to really lift that chest on this one. So your eye position in the arch is usually going to go to the front of your mat. It's not often that you're going to be able to take the eyes straight forward. So I usually think about somewhere over the edge of the mat and really get that chest, that upper chest to lift on the stretch. All right, go ahead and relax, come out of it. Come into a cat stretch or maybe a child's pose to stretch out your back a little bit. Okay, or the cat stretch is this position here. That one feels really good to me on my shoulders, my shoulder blades. Ooh, I like how that feels. All right, so just kind of a little reward after the back exercises to stretch out our back a little bit. All right, you guys are doing great. So let's keep moving forward with the Pilates workout. All right, sound good? Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna hold a plank position. We've done it often for 30 seconds in the class. You guys are gonna hold it for 40 seconds this time. So we're gonna do it on the forearms to take any extra pressure out of the shoulder. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna come back down on your stomach and you're gonna interlace your fingers and you're gonna keep the forearms down on the mat. The elbow is gonna be underneath your shoulder. You're gonna tuck the toes under, okay? My feet are probably about 5 inches apart. If you know planks are challenging for you, take them a little bit wider. If you do these all the time and you're like, ho hum, another plank, it's really easy. You could bring your feet all the way together, okay? I'm gonna go with about 5, 6 inches apart. Now, we're gonna lift up, push the forearms down to the mat, keep your abs tight, okay? I'm gonna watch the clock. So in order to do that, I'm gonna have to come out of my plank demonstration, okay? If you guys are already in it, hold the plank, keep it up because I'm counting. All right, we said 40 seconds. Got a little timer here. Now the key is not to let your low back sag or arch. Sagging is not a positive word, right? And hear someone say you're sagging, usually that's something we want to avoid, right? So especially in Pilates, we want to keep it neat. So you're going to keep the navel pulled to spine. That's going to create the ab flattening effect we want. So we're going to start to flatten the abs by doing that. But that should also help keep your back straight in a neutral position. Okay, so we also want to avoid excessive rounding in the plank. Very neutral. And we're coming up on 40 seconds. Okay, good job on that. Did you hold it the whole 40 seconds? All right, if you didn't, it's okay. If you had to come out of it, come back into it. If you did, great job. And if you like this, this can be a great way to create an ab change for you every day. You can just bust out a plank, once a day, a break between work or something, right? And just keep your time, right? You could do 40 seconds, see if you can get it up to maybe 45 seconds after a couple of weeks, and be good to yourself, right? All right, so good job on your planks. We still have some more exercises we're gonna do in the workout. So we're gonna stay down on the floor. Now the next thing we're gonna do is called a teaser, okay? So we've done these, usually we do this in every class. Now we're gonna start kind of slow with a little bit of a rolling up into the teaser. So what you're gonna do is bring your knees in towards your chest. Okay, so just bring your knees in towards your chest, and you're gonna put your hands just around the backs of the thighs. Okay, so we're gonna nod the chin. You're gonna come up into a flat back and then extend the knees. Look at the toes. Pull the knees in and just kind of roll down. Like kind of like a rocking chair, right? So we're gonna come up, extend the knees, and down. Just make sure your hands aren't on the knee joints. You wanna be a little bit below it. Let's do 2 more of those. Here comes one of my cats. Okay, awesome. Okay, so that's kind of a rolling teaser. We're rolling into it. Okay, so now we're ready to do more of a full teaser. So my cat's right here. And we're gonna bring the arms overhead. Now we're gonna nod the chin, and when your upper body starts to roll up with the arms, at that time you're gonna lift the legs. So we come into the teaser V. Pull the abs in and down. I have to make sure sometimes he gets behind me. Let's do the teaser and I'll land on him. Okay. All right, 2 more of these full teasers. Pull those ribs down. Awesome. Teaser, do 3 big arm circles and roll down. I wish I could see you guys doing this right now. So we're gonna come up and then 3 big circles. And then roll back down. All right, so now we're gonna do it again. This is the grand finale, okay? So for this one, we're gonna do 3 arm circles in the opposite direction, okay? Good. All right. Hope you guys enjoy that. All right, cool. So great job on the teasers. We did the rolling teaser. Now we're going to do something fun called seal. Okay. So for seal, this is where we bark together, right? Art, art, art. I'm sure people can probably hear me outside. Art, art, art. So we bark, right? So get ready to bark. All right. So we're going to clap the feet while we bark. So we come up into the seal position. So you're right on the, you want to be right on the back side of the sitting bones a little bit. So you can keep a rounded back because that's a better rolling surface than a flat back, right? So the exercise is a round back. You take the hands in between the legs and you hold on to the feet. This is what we clap with. So we're going to bark 3 times, roll back, bark 3 times, and keep doing that. Ready? All right. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and we're going to bark. Ready? All right. 3, 2, 1. Art, 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 art. All right. All right, there's our seal. All right, I'd always have some good seals in this class, so I'm sure you guys are doing great with your seals. calling all the animals out, right? Calling the neighbors out. All right, cool. All right, so let's do a couple more exercises, and then we're gonna do our cool down stretches. All right, so again, let's do some cool down stretches after we do side plank. Okay, so we're gonna do a side plank exercise. So just like our regular plank on forearms, that's what we're gonna do with the side plank. So you're gonna lay on your side. You're gonna stack the legs, again, feet about 3 to 6 inches in front. Take the top foot and stagger it so it's gonna come in front of the bottom foot. Okay, this creates more support for the side plank. We have the forearm down, and we're gonna take the available arm on the back side of the hand. It's gonna sweep up, follow it with your eyes, lift the hips, and look down at the floor, okay? Eyes go back towards the hand and back down to the back of the hand. So we're creating a circle, right? Let's do 2 more on this side, up, and reach, up, and down. Good. And down. Good. So we did 2. I did a demo, and then we did 2. So change sides for 2 side planks. Okay. So down on that forearm, make sure the elbow is underneath your shoulder and not out here. This isn't good. Okay. Stack the feet, stagger the feet, back of the hand here. Ready? And down. Don't these feel good? I hope they feel good. These are a nice, powerful move. Up and down. All right, cool. Now let's set up for some side stretches. So we're gonna sit with the legs crossed. And as you can see, I'm not facing the camera, I'm with the mat so that I have a nice surface for my side stretches. So you wanna be centered with your body and not rotated to look at the camera, right? So you could adjust to face this way. Okay, so make sure you're centered with your body. Take the arms out to the side, just slightly in front of the shoulders. Start with your right hand. This is my left. So your right hand's gonna go down towards the mat, slide out towards the elbow, stretch the other arm overhead. Now, very important to keep the hips down, especially the opposite hip. So your left hip should be reaching down into the floor. Okay, now go to your left side, reach the right hip or right sitting bone down, and it creates even a deeper stretch as we stay nice and stable through our pelvis, right? Over to the other side and reach. Okay, you guys following along? Okay, hopefully you can see, I know part of my arms get cut off. 1 more on each side. So I'm just creating this very smooth flow, right? Just going right through the center to the other side. All right, let's stack up to the center and float your arms down. All right, so we're gonna do an exercise on all fours. This is one of the pre-Pilates work, and it's called thread the needle, okay? I know a lot of people have done yoga. I think they teach us sometimes in yoga. So Pilates, the difference is we're often thinking about creating that core engagement or that navel to spine contraction. Okay, so when we come into all fours, you want to have a neutral spine and a slight engagement, navel to spine. And we're going to start with the right hand. So what you're going to do is you're just going to float it over your chest. You see that? It looks like this. The next thing you're going to do is think about the elbow. So the right elbow points up towards the ceiling. You will look towards the hand as you open the arm into this awesome chest and shoulder stretch. Okay, now we're going to thread the needle. So the hand slides on the floor. You bring your ear down to the mat to this stretch. Okay, again, come out and twist. Open up the chest. And coming back down to the floor. Okay. Okay, now when we come down to the floor, we're gonna stay here for just 1 or 2 breaths. This is the last one on the right side. Okay, come back to all fours, kind of reset your balance. You might shift your weight a little bit, make sure you feel nice and stable. So I kind of did a little wiggle side to side on my knees and hands. Now we're gonna go to the left side, arm over chest, and then elbow open, up, and down, right? So as you guys are doing that, I'm gonna adjust the camera so you can see my full arm. Right, so if you're watching this at home, you can see this kind of opening, right? This is what I'm doing. And I know I'm still cut off, but I'm reaching up as high as I can, right? And then coming back down to the floor. Okay, so probably you're on number 4 if you were doing this without interruption. So stay down on the mat and relax, take a couple of deep breaths. Right, so if you kept doing it while I was adjusting the camera, that should have been number 4. And then go ahead and come back to all 4s. And we're gonna go into lion drinking. Okay, so I'm gonna adjust the camera again. So stay in all 4s. And what we're gonna do is you're gonna start by turning the fingertips inwards on the mat. So that's all you're gonna do. Now you're gonna lift, the tailbone goes up towards the ceiling, your chest lifts, so we're arching the back. And you're gonna bend the elbows to lower your chest, nod your chin, and round up into this cat stretch. Really push through the heels of the palms, right? Arch and lower down. Okay, if you have tight wrists, this may be an intense stretch. So it's not intended to be a super intense stretch. So if you have too much, or a lot of tension through here and this isn't comfortable, you could adjust the hands to more of a degree, like a 45 degree. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more. Awesome. Okay, turn the fingertips forward. Okay, now we're gonna have a seat towards the edge of the mat. And we're gonna come into the leg position, the body position that we do for the rolling exercise, right? But we're not gonna roll. So this exercise is a prep for rolling. It's a great exercise for like the pelvic floor musculature and the lower abdominal area. It's also a great balance exercise as far as body control. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna point the toes. You're gonna be on the back side of the sitting bones and you're gonna lift the feet off the mat, okay? So the hands go on the sides of the lower leg, fingertips go forward. So without rolling, we're gonna draw the navel to spine and watch what I do. I'm gonna start to pull my lower back towards the mat, but I'm keeping the abs really tight. Basically, you see my arms extend a little bit and then I come back up to the starting position. Right, so it's a small move, a lot of abdominal contraction, especially the navel to spine area, and a lot of balance control. All right, so if you're not doing it yet, go ahead and come into position. And you keep like the meat of the muscles in the lower abs engaged. And you think about that's what's pulling you back, right? And the arms extending a little bit and up. And let's do about 2 more of these. Awesome. Okay, go ahead and lower the feet down. Okay, so now we're gonna do saw. Okay, so for saw, we're gonna sit with the legs in a straddle position. So your legs are making like a V. I know you can't see this foot. It looks like that. So with saw, you wanna make sure you have a little bit of room around you because we're gonna be twisting. Now, if you do sports, I do sports. I play tennis and golf. This may be a very intense stretch, but this can be a great stretch for recovery. And just also, again, sitting at the desk, right? So we're gonna take up some space. We're gonna rotate and stretch the legs and shoulders. So you're getting up nice and tall. Take the arms out to the side, just a little bit in front of the shoulders. Lengthen. Now watch the first one. I'm gonna rotate to the side. I'm gonna reach my index finger towards the big toe and I pulse twice. I come up, still rotated, and then center. Okay, so let's everybody do that one together now. So nice and tall, start by rotating to your right, rotate, dive down, index finger to big toe, 2 pulses. When you come up, you're still rotated, and then center. Okay, let's do the other side. So we pivot or rotate, dive 2 times, come up, still turn through the body, and then we turn center. Okay. Right? And if you're new to this or you haven't done it in a while, when you dive, that's when you're exhaling. So it's got this kind of pulse of the breath as well. Okay, I'm going to join in going to the second side. Up and center, right? Opposite side. Okay, one more on each side. And then come to the center and then arms down. So if your hair wasn't messed up before, it probably got messed up then, mine did. So you might feel stretching in many areas, as you can tell when you do that. Definitely the hamstrings, right? It also stretches out through the biceps, through the shoulders, through the chest, through the upper back, and we get this nice rotation. Okay, so that's saw. So the next one we're gonna do is we're gonna, let's bend the knees into this sort of zigzag position. Okay, we're gonna do just a little more mobility for the hips. So from the zigzag position, and you want to have space, hopefully you created some space, at least for a saw. We're going to take the hands behind the hips. This is called a windshield wiper, okay? And we're just sort of rolling on the back of the pelvis. Now, this is mostly, we're doing this so you can assess your own hip flexibility. Maybe you have some tightness left through maybe the glutes or the hips, even after the workout. Maybe you still feel a little tight or you're tight somewhere. So I want you to change sides and just identify which side feels tighter for you. Okay, so for me, I definitely feel tighter when I go to my right and I feel a little tightness here. Okay, that's not unusual for me. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna stretch. So let's pick the side that felt tighter. So for me, it was this direction. Now the stretch we're gonna do is we're gonna put the hands on either side of the knee. And we're just gonna come down, not quickly, because it can be fairly intense. We're just gonna come down slowly over the knee, right? Now, your hip may lift. A lot of people are like, is that okay? It's okay. Very few people are flexible enough to keep the pelvis all the way down in the stretch. So if it lifts a little bit, that's okay. Now, ideally, we're gonna be able to keep it down. So I'm gonna work on keeping mine down. All right. It's lifting a little bit, but that is okay, right? Because we're creating a stretch and we're just kind of checking in with our body. So it's lifting a little bit, there's no discomfort, and I'm definitely getting a considerable stretch. So there's many areas like saw, this will stretch. Saw moves a lot of areas. This will stretch your hamstrings, the hips, the glutes, and a lot of the mid-back muscles, the big muscles, the lats. Kind of stretching into this. So just relax into that. Oh, I like that stretch. It feels good. Okay, now when you come up, let's reassess or check in with the windshield wiper motion to see if you have more mobility in your hips. I definitely do on both directions. Okay, that tightness is gone. This side is a lot looser. Okay. So hopefully that felt good to you. Let's do it on your other side. So just drop over to the windshield wiper and we're gonna go over into that stretch. Relax into that. So you may do a little snaking, kind of snaking into the stretch or a little bit of movement. Kind of working through really the different fascia in the back and the hips. as we get that nice deep stretch there, okay? So coming up out of it, let's reassess that windshield wiper move and see if that took care of any extra tightness maybe that you had still in the hips. Right, so do a couple more of these. Hopefully you guys feel a little bit looser in the hips after that. That can be a great stretch if you tend to get tight in the hips or you want to break from working. Just get on the floor and do that one, windshield wiper and the hip stretch. All right, so let's do treading through the feet. We're gonna do 1 or 2 more exercises. We're gonna come on to all fours. So treading through the feet, we're gonna tuck the toes under. You're gonna lift the hips into an elephant position. And you're gonna walk the hands a little bit closer to the toes. Relax your neck, bring both heels up into a releve. Lower one heel, both heels up, lower the opposite heel. This is called treading through the feet. So we're staying rounded through the back. Weight on the heels of the palms and the balls of the feet. Whew. Stretching through the calves, maybe in the back a little bit. Try to keep your neck relaxed. All right, great. Now, both heels up. Lower both heels as you walk your hands towards the toes. Bend the knees just a little bit. Relax your neck, relax through the shoulders. We're going to slowly roll up 1 vertebra at a time. Okay, nice and slow, nice and easy. Coming all the way up. My body got chopped off. I'm still here. So, take a couple of nice deep breaths. See how your body feels. I hope you guys feel great after that Pilates workout today. Missed a lot of you in person. I know it's a holiday, Father's Day. I hope you guys can check this out at home during the week, and I'll see you again next week. All right, have a great week. Bye.